Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is a romance haul, so I hope you enjoy. Like and comment and subscribe. First book I have is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a romance between two gentlemen. If you're not into that, this is a book I would suggest you skip. When his mother becomes president of the United States, Alex Claremont Diaz was promptly cast as the American equivalent as a young royal. Handsome, charismatic genius, his image is pure millennium marketing gold for the White House. The only problem is, Alex has had beef with the actual Prince Henry across the pond. And when tabloids get a hold of a photo involving Alex and Henry's altercation, U.S.-British relations take a turn for the worst. Heads of family and state and other handlers devise a plan for damage control. Stage a truce between the two rivals. What at first begins as a fake Instagrammable friendship grows deeper and more dangerous than either Alex or Henry could have imagined. Soon, Alex finds himself hurting in a secret romance with the surprisingly unstuffy Henry that could derail the presidential campaign and upend two nations. It raises the question, can love save the world after all? Where do we find the courage and the power to be the people we are meant to be? And how can we learn to let our true colors shine? The next book that I have is the second book to Not Your Average Hot Guy. This is The Date from Hell by Gwenda Bond. After saving the world and stopping the apocalypse, Callie and Luke are looking forward to a quiet romantic weekend together. When you're a human dating the Prince of Hell, quiet moments are hard to come by. But their romantic weekend in hell takes a turn when Lucifer tasks Callie and Luke with chasing a wayward soul around the world. If they can prove it's possible to redeem a soul, Lucifer will allow the two of them to make some changes in hell. But this wayward soul, Sean, doesn't have any interest in being redeemed. Once he's back on Earth, he decides to take a leaf out of Callie and Luke's book and find the Holy Grail. Now Callie, Luke, and their friends and enemies must race Sean around the globe on the Grail quest and bring peace between heaven and hell before they can finally maybe get around to that date. The next book that I have is Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. Bad luck has always followed Olivia Marshall. Or maybe she's just a screw-up her family believes she is. But when she gets a "what are you wearing" text from a random number, turns into the hottest, most entertaining anonymous relationship of her life. She thinks things might be on the upswing. Colin Beck has always considered Olivia his best friend's annoying little sister. But when she moves in with them after one of the worst run-ins of luck, he realizes she's become an altogether different and sexier distraction. He's sure he can keep his distance until the moment he discovers she's the irresistible Miss Dial he's been sort of sexting for weeks. And now he has to decide whether to turn up the heat or ghost her before things get messy. The next book that I have is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. As a third-year PhD candidate, Olive Smith doesn't believe in lasting romantic relationships, but her best friend does, and that's what's got her into this situation. Convincing Anne that Olive is dating a well on her way to a happily ever after was always going to take more than a hand-waving Jedi mind tricks. Scientists require proof. So like any respecting biologist, Olivia panics and kisses the first man she sees. That man is none other than Adam Carlson, a young hotshot professor and a well-known ass, which is why Olive is positively floored when Stanford's reigning lab tyrant agrees to keep her charade a secret and be her fake boyfriend. And when a big science conference goes haywire, putting Olive's career on the Bunsen burner, Adam is surprising her again with his unyielding support and even more unyielding six-pack abs. Suddenly, their little experiment feels dangerously close to combustion. and Olive discovers that the only thing more complicated than a hypothesis on love is putting her own heart under the microscope. The next book that I have is by Abby Jimenez, and that is Part of Your World. After a wild bet, gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and cuddled up with a baby goat, Alex Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her, and as casual as they come, the complete opposite of a sophisticated city girl Alexis. And yet their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to follow on the family legacy of a world-renowned surgeon, Alex doesn't need the glory or fame. She's fine with being a mere ER doctor. And every minute she spends with Daniel and the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering just what's really important. Yet letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible, yet she can't give up the joy she's found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and his? So this is not a romance book, but I figured I would include it because this is like the only book that's not romance. And it is The Fear by Natasha Preston. It's a stupid meme that's going around their small fishing town in the dead of winter. People reposting and sharing their biggest fear. But when her classmates start turning up dead, dying in the way they said they'd be most scared of, Izzy knows it's no joke. With each death hitting closer to home, Izzy sets out to stop the killer. Could it be her older sister's friend Tristan being involved somehow? He's giving her some strange vibes. Or what about his brooding cousin Axel? But he's in her classes at school. He's not a murderer, is he? Izzy is soon on a path that will lead her right to the killer and her own worst nightmare. The last book that I have for the haul is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. When Lauren and Ryan's marriage reaches the breaking point, they come up with an unconventional plan. They decide to take a year off in hope of finding a way to fall in love again. 1 year apart, and the only one rule: they cannot contact each other. Aside from that, anything goes. Lauren embarks on a journey of self-discovery, quickly finding that her friends and family have their own ideas about the meaning of marriage. These influences, as well as her own healing process and the challenges of living apart from Ryan, begin to change. Lauren's idea about monogamy and marriage. She starts to question when you can have romance without fidelity and commitment without marriage. When love and lust are no longer tied together, what do you value? What are you willing to fight for? This is a love story about what happens when love fades. It's about staying in love, seizing love, forsaking love, and committing to love with everything you've got. And above all, After I Do is a story of a couple caught up in an old game, searching for a new road to happily ever after. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thank you.